Hey guys, welcome back to this episode. So I got some new news, right? Our office has talked about it. We've gone through a lot of meetings after last week's awesome episode. Great edits. We're going to bring Arthur back into the mix, so you'll see him later in this episode. And I do have an important thing to show. We're going to bring in Kevin, and he's about to give an apology that you're going to see now.
I'd like to start off from the bottom of my heart. I would like to apologize to absolutely fucking nobody, dude. This is my fucking show.
Kevin, no!
Dear Elders community, at the heart of our mission, it is the idea that people are fundamentally good and that every community is a place where you can belong. My prior actions broke that commitment. I would like to apologize for my actions and like to be a better person for this community. From here on out, I will not just antagonize or belittle any of my opponents. I will be treating everyone with honesty and be fair. I hope you can accept this apology.
Thank you, Kevin. We welcome you back to the team. Thanks.
Ready. What's up? First try, no warm up. What's up? First try, no warm up. What's up? First try, no warm up. Yeah, I might just go ahead and say, first try, no warm up.
Hey guys, welcome to week 13 of the season. It's good to be back on Respect Your Elders. Thank you, Miller, for giving us a pass this week.
You guys are welcome. You know, there's a lot of deliberation, and glad to have you two back. We'll see what happens with the third member. We'll see what happens next week.
Is there a reason you decided not him this week?
Simply, it just came down to his managerial abilities of his team. He said he was going to give an apology and everything, but you're looking at these scores from last week, and I think he deserves to sit another week out of this episode, or out of this show.
All right, let's jump into last week's games. We'll start off Chase versus Alex. Chase took that one. Alex, a little MIA. We'll talk about that later. Then we had Jacob and Garrett. Garrett pulls out the dub. Garrett is the king of low-scoring head-to-head wins. I think that's just his role in the league at this point. Then we had our elder matchup, Bo versus me. Closer than the last one, but Bo takes it, 115-102. At least I got the median. Then we had Colt versus Mir. Mir just shit all over Colt. Just dropped his pants and just went for it. 154-86. Then we got the Chris versus Aaron. 133-101. Chris takes that one. But let's go back to the Miller game. I mean, Miller, you hosted the Elders last week, and then you drop 154. Is there any correlation?
It's that elder magic. I really think it is. You know, I was excited about recording the episode, and I called it during the episode. Gonna be an easy win. You know, it was.
If you can keep that type of score up, you may be able to get up into the playoffs.
Yeah, they've all been contacted. Every player's been contacted. They know the deal. They understand what's at risk here. So
Alex, I mean, we thought maybe he could get a win after week 11, but 3 straight weeks of the bottom score, and this one it looks like half a score to me.
I was definitely rooting for him, and you know, I definitely think if the teams had done a little bit better, you know, if the players had done a little differently, the scores might have been different, you know.
I see your logic there, that's for sure. I think we need to bring up one thing, as long as it's within guidelines. The Garrett versus Jacob matchup.
Yeah.
Jacob, what happened, buddy? Normally he's here to defend himself, but he's not because of that.
He's embarrassed.
Yeah.
Third lowest down there with Colt and Alex.
Not the type of people you want to be around.
No.
Not in fantasy football. Definitely not.
Mm-mm.
Person, great people. Love them both.
And I guess maybe Jacob has a decision at quarterback this week. The sex offender is back this week, Deshaun Watson. And he's been holding on to him for like 9 years at this point. Do we think Jacob pulls the trigger and benches Trevor Lawrence once again as the fake fan that he is?
No, and he's the fake fan. I'm giving him the advice right now. Jacob, start the sex offender.
All right, if we take a look at the standings after last week, nobody moved last week. This week, only a little bit of movement. Miller jumps Garrett right up into 7th place. They're actually tied record-wise, only a half game out from Kevin in that 6th spot. So last 2 weeks, going to be pretty important to try and either get into the playoffs or, Kevin, defend your spot in the playoffs.
Better watch out, Kevin. You saw my team last week.
That is very true. I've never missed the playoffs in Dynasty so far. Last year, I was also fighting for the 6th spot, I think, or right there at it. I was, I'm terrified.
I will say, if the inevitable happens and you do miss the playoffs, we can have a sidebar. I've been there plenty of years. So I can walk you through, bring you off that ledge,
Yeah, no, I think I'll absolutely need that accountability if I do miss the playoffs. But I can always, bring solace to the fact that I have won in this league. I've got a ring. No one can take that away from me. So even if I do miss the playoffs, guys, just remember, I was better than you at one point.
At one point.
If you miss, that'll be a first for you. If it's Miller that makes you miss, that'll be a first for him.
Garrett.
Yeah, it's going to be a first all around if some kind of movement happens there.
I have a tough road ahead of me, though, so.
I mean, I tried to make some blockbuster moves right before the deadline. Nothing really panned out. So I tried to see if there was anything I could shake it up. I couldn't. So these are my guys. I'm riding with them. We'll see what happens.
Talking about trying to make a few moves. I'm calling out Chris here. I gave you so many chances to trade me Mark Andrews. I sent you at least 4 different trades. You never responded. I even offered it, to put something up last video. Silence. So lost all respect from me, Chris. I don't understand why you wouldn't give me Mark Andrews.
Speaking of the trade deadline, obviously no more trades the rest of the year. If we take a look at all the movement that happened, Chase actually had the most trades of the league this year at 5, me and Kevin at 4. And speaking of Chris, no surprise that nothing happened. 0 trades this year. So the only person not to trade this year. He is very against trading for some reason. He's acting like he can just win multiple championships with his current lineup or something.
It's honestly just despicable.
Yep. That's going to take us into this week's matchups. We'll start off with Garrett versus Alex, so number 8 versus number 9. We're in the rematch territory, as you guys have probably figured out by now. Last matchup, Garrett won 107-100. Another close game, another head-to-head win for Garrett, which is becoming his signature in this league. Garrett is 3-0 all-time versus Alex. As we all know, you don't get to do that very many times until Alex wins. So this is Garrett's last chance before the impending doom.
And I'm saying it, Alex, come on. I'm rooting for that win. I am.
I mean, we got to check to see if Alex even has the app anymore with 3 straight bottom scores, one being 57.
Yeah. You guys both do live in Orlando. Go do a little house check.
Yeah.
Maybe and just sneak in there, download it for him, make a few changes. I won't say anything. We all want that win. And
then we'll go to our next matchup, Mir versus Chris. So number 7 versus number 2. Last matchup, Mir won this one to surprise us all, 135-114. For that was Miller's first win, period, against Chris.
Yeah.
So he's 1-4 all time. Chris averages a ridiculous 148 versus Mir, but the score has been coming down each matchup. So
True. Really hoping my team shows up like they did last week. I need another, just everybody giving it their all, because Chris is not an easy person to win against. So
no, and like we said, you and Garrett both fighting for that last spot in the playoffs. So these are very important games.
Garrett's got the little easier matchup, but again, it is what it is.
That Alex Apocalypse, always, it's out there. So, you think it's fine. You think he's got 3 straight bottom weeks, and then out of nowhere, he just drops 140, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? It happens. That's what Alex does. That's why he's in the league. And then we'll go to our next matchup, me versus Colt. So number 6, that last playoff spot, versus number 10. Colt's not having a great year. We've already talked about this ad nauseum. He traded away Cooper Kupp this year, traded away last year. He traded away Derrick Henry. It's been a rough couple years for Colt. He's trying to get it turned around. We'll see if it happens. Hopefully not this week, please. I need to keep my playoff spot. Last time I won the matchup 123-102. I'm 5-1 versus Colt all time. I looked at the scores. They're all pretty close. Like the average score wise, we're only apart by like 13 points. So it's never like a blowout. It's just I usually come out on top. That's all it is. And hopefully you keep doing that one more week. And then we're going to have another Elders matchup. Love these. Bo versus Jacob. So number 1 versus number 3 are going to go back to the top of the scoreboard, or the leaderboard. Last matchup, Jacob won this one 108 to 102. And Jacob, surprisingly, is 5-2 versus you, Bo. What's up with that?
I don't know. I don't like it. We tend to keep our matchups, pretty 50-50, at least as close as we can. And Jacob is not doing that against me. I've actually only beat him last year. Didn't beat him before then, and I didn't beat him this year, so hopefully that doesn't continue and get us back to a little 50-50 Elders.
Well, you got Elders luck this week. Where's Jacob?
That's true.
Is it the big head? Does it intimidate you?
It might be that, yeah. Maybe I was just closing my eyes whenever I looked at him last year.
Yeah.
Just blocks out the sun when he's near you.
Yeah.
That's going to bring us to our game of the week, guys. Chase versus Aaron. Number 5 versus number 4, right there in the middle of the standings. Last matchup, barn burner. 146 to 125. Aaron took that one. They were both top 3 scores last time. That was kind of the turnaround week for both teams. They both kind of went on an upward trajectory for a little bit. But Aaron is 5-1 versus Chase all time.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Both of these guys could potentially climb their way into that bye spot for the playoffs. It would take a lot, but they could still get there. And they could also both fall out of the playoffs. So they're in a very big predicament. I mean, they're always a close matchup for some reason. Aaron just destroys Chase. Aaron did score very bad last week at 101 because he left in an injured player. So I don't know if he's taking notes out of Alex's book, not checking it. That's not the book. Maybe he thought it was someone else's book that he was copying notes from.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. If it wasn't for Josh Jacobs getting 50 fucking points, Aaron would have. It would have been a lot worse off for him. That's ridiculous. He literally had half of his points.
Yep. Maybe he realizes he's looking at the wrong book and puts playing players in there. It normally helps.
A little bit.
So I've heard.
This week's sponsor is Maybell. Owning a dog is great. They're lovely companions. Bo has a couple. I got Maybell. She's a sweetheart. And they really improve your life. So everybody get a dog. This week episode sponsored by Maybell.
Well, I think that's all we've got for you this episode. I want to thank Miller for letting us back in here. Maybe we can get the third one in here if he wants to show his face after this week.
I'm really hoping so. We love the Elders episodes. I know, except for those couple complaints, we love the Elders. We want to see this group back together. We want to see the episodes finish off the season. So we'll see what'll happen.
Yeah, hopefully we can get that in there, and we'll see what kind of movements in the standings after this week. Pretty important.
First try, no warm up. First try, no warm up.
Yeah.
No, come here. Come here, baby. Sit. Come here. Oh, no, get up. All right, guys. I'm sorry, baby. Come here.